Hi, I'm Brandy Williams, founder of Williams Accounting and Tax Services in McDonough, Georgia. We're a full-service accounting firm proudly serving clients nationwide, including military families and U.S. expats. With over 20 years of experience as an IRS-enrolled agent, we've got you covered from past tax returns to business services and strategic tax planning. Visit WilliamsActTax.com. Let's get connected and take your finances to the next level.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Clown blog. Drop one in the comments if you can hear me and see me. This is a trigger warning show. Trigger warning. Black fathers and ally money. Somalians just scam / build businesses smarter, and elder care. Listen, I know you're like, Erica, dang, on Christmas Eve. Yeah, even on Christmas Eve, we'll do this. I don't think I understand how progressively the year is getting ready to change for every single person in my circle and sphere. And so I just want to come across clearly how those changes are coming in, how they're coming fast. So if you can, drop a C state in the chat. Here we go. Black Friday special. It is here till, I guess, the 31st or whatever. Land grab special. Land grab course is usually $497. It's $97 right now. Why? Because we'll be spending, the next year, 2 years heavy into the real estate space, so much so that we have 2 staff members who are we just finished doing Zoom group coaching meetings a couple of days ago. Like, they're just orchestrating an online kind of offensive. The social media company we're working with will do stuff for our construction company, and we'll be doing real estate things over here for a multi-million-dollar project. And so while I'm available, the 1 or 2 times a month I'll drop into those school groups and classes to teach. I would strongly suggest you be there. I strongly suggest you ask. And some people have asked questions. They're like, well, can I get the answer to that company? No, that's for the inner circle. Whatever I give in there, it was what I give, but the next level stuff is for inner circle. Also, Calendly links is in there. After 15th, the 30-minute call will go away. It'll only be an hour option choice. Why? We'll just be tied up. No lie. I enjoy the calls. They've been a robust part of my business for 10 years. I've absolutely enjoyed being on YouTube. I find you guys to be inspiring. Your life changes and stories to kind of motivate me to educate better, how I can provide better services. And literally the calls this year helped me structure 2 parts of the business for next year. So I appreciate every single call. Also, the funding bundle is there. Again, we have people inside the funding bundle who've made $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. A lot of times just re-examining their current bank accounts, what they need to change, and their current credit scores. A lot of times people are like, oh, you need to do all this program and this changing. And sometimes it's just a few steps you're missing. And we talk about it there in those 4 different classes. You have access to all 4 of those classes when you buy that bundle. So enjoy. If you purchase something on the link and you're like, Eric, I just purchased this, is still available, baby. If you purchased it, our staff will get you in where you need to be at all times. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right. We finished that conversation. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're in Digital Liberty Warriors, we got some digital content that I'll save that. I'll save that for later. Let's get into it. Now, this past week I've been, if you haven't noticed on the channel, I put a short up about the 9 Jewish guys who, it really is $100 million that they stole out of Baltimore via DCSR loans. I did the video and it had 78,000 as far as I checked last time. I'm going to check it again now. It might have 80,000 views. And that's the one time I felt like YouTube did not restrict my content, which is hilarious. There is a slight bias on YouTube, but if you're talking about scams, you're talking about scamming, you're talking about anything questionable, magically YouTube's like, yeah, juice it to the moon, juice it to the moon. So right now, it's at 79,000 views. I think it's slowed down. It's like I came up and I was like, why am I getting all these pings on my phone? Ping, 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 ping. And it's just funny. So anyways, I think it's hilarious. Some of the commentary inside there. So I was going to comment that post went crazy. I have 1 or 2 more and I'll probably get some snail bites out of this video itself. But before we go into that, the tragedy, I'm just letting you know, that is just giving you heads up warning on some of this stuff. Now you're going to say, Erica, we're going into a recession. Can't you see everything's crashing? And that's why I call the show trigger warning, because I just kind of laugh when I hear kind of conversations that way, because it shows me you're struggling terribly. Now, I want to do a whole series talking about Black fathers and how I don't, sports, black fathers, the LeVar Ball effect, the Deion Sanders effect. What we have right now, it's not this NIL money. And I'm going to start off with this one just because I feel like it. And also, this man's from Robertson County, the county below us, American Indian tribe below us. And the truth is, that rhetoric that somebody's some single mom with 4 kids and she's struggling, that's really dead, y'all. And I get it. Our black community loves holding on to that. But if you didn't know that was really dead, if you haven't paid attention in the last 10 years, if you've been on like Manosphere, Red Pill talking points and these bitches, whatever, the crazy talk that people are talking over there, beating up a dead horse. Like you're talking about 50, 60, 70-year-old men talking about child support and their kids are 35, 40. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. So what we have here, in my opinion, this is not data. This is not exactly facts. Now, I can show a lot of data where schools are interacting more with fathers, high schools, middle schools, elementary school. There's so many black moms coming online and they're coming in and telling them they're stay-at-home mom. And the people are like, well, you're on welfare? You're on this? She's like, no, my husband is a this or an accountant or whatever. The tide has changed. The pendulum has swinged. And I'm going to say this from a perspective of someone who has nephews in sports. The woman that was in my nephew's soccer group, she adopted 3 kids. She could barely get them to the games. She could barely get them to the practices. And what's happening is that single mom who's having a hard time getting kids to practice, they're never going to be consistent and they're not going to be the superstars y'all think they're going to be. I get it. We have a few stories left out there in Dallas, Texas, Houston, Atlanta, Alabama, but overwhelmingly, the kids that are doing well in sports right now, as I've been telling y'all for the past 10 years, is 2-parent homes. If you don't believe me, go watch the NFL draft. 99% of them were 2-parent homes. The commentators didn't even know what questions to ask because they realized they were talking to black people who were well-to-do. They were like, aren't y'all glad y'all made it out of here? And the black woman looked at the white woman like, made it out of where? Made it out of Dallas? Made it out of Arlington? And it was comical because it was like the white girl was stuck. She had nowhere to take the conversation because those group of black people they're going to the wayside. I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible for this show, but this is a trigger warning show. So trigger warning has been issued. If you have a problem coming show, please leave. That group of black people are falling to the wayside. You're not going to see that many more of them. Why? Because you have a rise of aunties with no babies, a rise of uncles with no babies, right? You have the fastest growing single mom group is women 39 to 43, right? So they've already passed all the years where they could have been a teenage mom. They done passed all the years when they could have been a broke 20-something mom. They're 30-something-year-old women with some jobs and some careers and some benefits. You dig what I'm saying? To the bad lines they are going. Like, we don't even see them, right? Baltimore done rounded up their people and put them to the edge of the county line. Right. So these stories like The Wire, the 1994 Negro is what I call it. The 1994 Negro telling these sob stories and robbery stories. That's the past. Like, that's dead. and no bigger is it dead than hip hop. You got a bunch of boys out here crying at the concert. These little vert concerts. What? Wearing pink shoes and boots. I mean, y'all, that stuff is dead. Now, I love that he spoke on this. This is Coach Sampson out of North Carolina. He's a Lumbee Indian. You may say, well, he like a black man, but he looked like a Mexican, but he looked like he's talking like, again, it's just where we're from. Okay, so here you go.
His career in segregation. You didn't have a lot of help. Now it was the mamas with 4 babies or 4 kids struggling to pay rent, and the AAU coach grabbed the kid and made all the decisions. Some of it was to his benefit. But now the black fathers are heavily involved. Yep. And the black mother, and they're successful. So I've seen that scale go up and down so much, and that's why I think a lot of these kids choose the schools they choose because they're looking for discipline. They're looking for, and enough of those haven't been talked about. They're making the right choice and they're benefiting from it. And things change today. 30 years ago, I was dealing with the black mamas. Look at the daddies now. Most of these kids come from 2-parent families. And my dad coached all his career in segregation.
Again, that's the most important part. His daddy is Lumbee, which you can look black and you can look white, depending on the Lumbee you're talking to. And his dad coached during segregation. Again, that trope This is direct from coach's mouth, but you see it all over. When Nick Saban wanted to retire because everybody could get the money now, Nick Saban didn't have no edge. If everybody can get the money, he has no edge, right? Also, you have, if you notice, there were some schools in Tennessee. You couldn't get the NLMA till your coach approved it. So one black boy, he lost out on $10 million because his coach didn't approve it in time. And so they sued the school, they sued the coach, they sued everybody because you're not my overseer. You're not my manager. You're just a coach. And if I got to go through you to get my NIL money, I'm going to leave. And so this is why people are so angry about sports. This is why I know Super Sly is going to see this at some point and talk smack to me. But again, nobody gives a crap about Michigan, Indiana Hoosiers, the old Big Ten. They don't care. Wyoming. The other day somebody was like, Wyoming, we had what's the boy from Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills? And I was like, y'all telling stories from 10 years ago. Y'all telling me stories 10 years ago of these players that get into the NFL 10 years ago. If you go look at the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm trying to be curious here. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at a few places. What's the other team I was going to name? Dang. But basically, I'll use them first. Philadelphia Eagles. Every single player that's been lined up the last 2 years has either been from the Ohio State or Alabama or a Southeast school. That's it. Those two schools, and that's it. Go look up the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't have to take my word for it. This tells me the temperature for who is really the schools doing well. And it's going to be Southeast schools. It just is. Do you need some cold weather players? Baby, feel free to go to Nebraska. Feel free to go to Wisconsin. Feel free to go to nowhere spots and go find a big, tall white boy who can play in the cold weather and push. Because that's what he's going to be. He's going to be a defensive player, right? He's going to be an O-line guy. That's fine. But that is done. Right? It's just done. The money, the millions. Texas Tech. That was something I was going to show y'all this past part. Notre Dame. You see, Notre Dame was upset because they could not get wiggle room in at all. They were sitting there trying to figure out what are we going to do? USC, these schools that people are like, this is the best school ever. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Is that where the money's at? If the money ain't there, they don't care. And everybody hates that. I get it. Erica, you're just saying that because they're popular. No, I'm saying that because when you have a black son and his time is limited on where he can play and how he can play, baby, you don't got time for these little, I'm trying to say it in a nice way. You don't have time for these coaches trying to sell you on this great, look at all this stuff this school gives you. I've had too many family members play sports in college to the point that it took them like 6 years to finish because they were giving them a bunch of PE classes, a bunch of fluff classes. They barely finished. By the time they had ran out of eligibility, it was like, oh, you don't even have enough for a degree. And more kids are coming out with those stories than ever. It takes your parents pushing for you to get real education. Okay. So I just want to make that very clear with the sports and the NLI money and how it's going. Black fathers is all over the place. This rhetoric of there ain't no daddies in the home is really not true. It's really old. It's real 1984 talk, real 1994 talk. It's a wrap, right? So let me show you this right here. This is a Texas Tech, just to give you an example who's in the stands, right? Because a lot of times we think it's a bunch of yokels in the stands. Here's who's in the stands. Okay, let's go ahead and play this.
Oil and gas. What's the most you've made in a single year?
15 million.
I started a company called Encode. We renamed the company Tyler Technologies. What's the most amount of money you've ever made in a year? 55 million.
Construction. We revenue 42 million a year.
Home building. When we sold to private equity, that paycheck was over $1.6 million.
Oil and gas. I got kicked out of college and then decided to go in the trucking business. Then went into the production business.
What was the most amount of money you ever made in a year?
About $80 million.
Consider Los Angeles. I made $2.3 million this year.
I played in the NFL. 1 year for Oakland Raiders, 6 years for Seattle Seahawks.
What's the most amount of money you made in a single year?
2.5 million, something like that.
I do home loans for a living.
What's the most you've made in a single year?
$1 million.
We are neighbors.
They try to say only SMU's got the money.
No. We live, what, 3/4 of a mile from SMU?
What's the most amount of money you made in a year?
7 figures plus. I'm in the leasing business, automobile leasing, and it's because of fraternity brothers and friends from Tech. My Tech heritage is what drove me and enabled me to make the living that I've made.
What industry do you work in?
Oil and gas.
What's the most?
Now, I just want to tell you, when you go to Texas, middle of nowhere, it's in Lubbock. Ain't nothing out there but desert. Okay. Now, but the school is now what? Contenders to the playoffs. They've literally poured $5 million just into the softball program. You're talking to people who they just told the doors, hey, the doors of the school are open. Do you have money, my friend? The doors are open to the school. So now you're talking to intact Black families who the mother and father are together, have been putting little Jerome, little Jeff Jr., they're giving them some of them other names, to balance it out. There, you see tennis, you see soccer, you see we're going in these spaces because now the money has shown up. They realize they ain't getting Shaniqua's kids cheap no more. Shaniqua's kids are no longer out here. Why Shaniqua ain't having them? I just wanted to have that moment with y'all. I've been seeing too many people like, these single moms. I'm like, y'all, what are you talking about? You sound like 1999 and you're listening to people who are 50, 60, 70 years old talking about women's online, and they talking from 1994. If these people that are telling you these stories who are 70, 60, and 50 years old have 35-year-old kids are 35 years old and older and telling you these stories, don't you think these stories are old? Don't you think the climate has changed? Right? You got 45% of men under 30 ain't even walking up on women talking to them. So who are they talking about? They're talking about old stories and other people's lived experiences. That's pathetic. But I just want you to understand the tide has changed, right? Who's at the games? Who's at the football events? Who's at the music events? People with money, people with credit cards, people who can make payment plans. I looked up 7 of the music festivals I want to go to next year. It's all payment plans. I said, why are they offering a payment? You can put $30 down. I said, not $30, y'all. It's getting real ghetto out here, right? But that's people who are planning for the next year. That's people who's ready. The media gets off every day talking to mushmouth baby kids. It's an endangered species, right? The most juice the internet just got was that Black mama walking home with her son and getting beat up by baby kids. And then when they go see the baby kids, almost half those baby kids have a dad at home. So then they're just like, the parents are like, where the man at? Tell him meet us outside. Now your daddy about to get beat up. There's a video that went viral. It's a man driving in his car, and he said, the little girl who was bullying my daughter had to learn a lesson. Okay. Him and his friends went and beat her dad up in front of her at the bus. Now, I would not advocate for that. That is ridiculous. But they were literally going, this child comes from a home of 2 parents. Your child has 2 parents. Clearly, us talking to your child, coming to your house, asking you to get your daughter in control didn't work. Now we're going to beat you up. Now, I'm not advocating for y'all to go around beating kids up. I'm not advocating for that, or beating their parents up. But I just think that's so crazy because you're now going from a space of their mom to both parents. Even as you go on social media and these groups that you're watching, these couples online making all this money off just showing regular life. I keep showing y'all couple after couple just living regular life in a nice house in Texas. The mom's cooking, cleaning, and they're making a ton of money off social media. Because people are just like, oh my God, your husband, he's so sweet. And it's usually the older aunties that are watching that, y'all. You already know what I'm trying to say. Okay. Put money in those pockets. So listen, I've talked about that enough. Let me go on where I want to go with this. But I just want to remind y'all that's an old story. That story gone. Now I'm thinking of going to Somalians, but before I go to Somalians, I think I'm gonna go to, well, I really do want to do Somalians. I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do farm talk for a second. Here we go. Let's play this clip right here.
Regular life, you can't be doing regular people shit. Point blank, period. There's no way around it. If you don't want to live a regular life, you can't be doing regular people shit. Let me just make this very clear. If you don't want to live a regular life, you can't be doing regular people shit. Point blank, period. There's no way around it. If you don't want to live a regular life, you can't be doing.
Okay, so just to remind y'all, a lot of people are like, oh, I want to travel, I want to do this. And I always ask the questions like, well, when, where, how? And when you start doing that, they start getting fuzzy. And I want to tell you guys, like, I sat down for 4 days in a row. I kept going back and forth to my office, charting out a $10 million a year and back and forth, and then with my spouse, okay, this is what we're gonna do this day, this month, this time. This is how our 2 months off sabbatical is gonna look. This is where we're taking our whole family on this particular vacation. This is where our family's going as a group on a vacation. These are all the things we're gonna work on. And people will be like, that's kind of intense, Erica, don't you think? Don't you think that's kind of intense, Erica? And I'll be like, no. How do you think these people plan this stuff? They plan it out far in advance. Right? I'm planning my mastermind group events on top of squeezing in other people's mastermind group events. Okay, so I just want you guys to understand the difference of when people say they want to live this extraordinary life and they do regular stuff. They don't plan, they don't draw it out. They're like, yeah, I want to do this, but are you planning for it? Have you got there? Now, let me show you this. Here we go. Let's go here. I think it's got music to it. It do, and I don't care. It's okay. I'll play that so y'all can read. Can y'all read that screen? Big enough. All right, yeah, I want to get the copyright strike. That's all. Yeah. I'm just gonna tell you, you can buy a non-working farm for zero money down, 620 credit score USDA loan. Then go to neighbor.com. Rent the extra space to people to park vehicles, RV, boats, etc. Cover your whole mortgage with the rental money. Now, I've told y'all that on this channel. I've talked about it with some other people. There's plenty of videos showing you that, right? Let me see right here. They don't plan because they would have to budget and take a look at them numbers. Yeah, it's easy when you start talking to people, when they talk to me about people in bankruptcy and all these stories. I'm like, by the time you get there and they start asking what happened, right? They start asking, how'd you get like that? It's very interesting. People haven't looked at their numbers forever. It's like a frog in a boiling pot of water. Now it's boiled over, right? So again, I've talked about farming. I've talked about how they're basically begging, the government's like, hey, we have millions of dollars set aside for farmers. And again, when I talk about how is the government, putting this money aside for people, this stuff has already been allotted for years, right? It just takes you doing the paperwork correctly. All right. I hope that makes sense. Like a lot of people keep saying, oh, it's so hard. It's an uphill battle. America don't want you to do it. No, that's not true, y'all. That's not true. That makes me kind of cringe when I have to be like, yeah, that's not true. And that's part of why I know next year some of the content we got the two staff doing online will be super beneficial to people, because it's just literally, it's a ripe ocean of people not knowing. Just not knowing. And so again, you can check out his page. His page is full of these where it's like 580 store gets you 3.5 down payment assistance. 620 gets you 5%, right? You could buy a 2-unit finished garden. Now he focuses a lot on Chicago and the Illinois area, but he works 50 states, y'all. He works 50 states. Okay, so you can go check out his page. You can come see this information. A lot of people like, Eric, I don't have a 700, 800 credit score. I can't get all these credit cards. You don't have to worry about that, right? I told y'all there's levels to the credit, level 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can have a whole conversation about that another day. But you're going to see a lot more farm conversation because they're almost marketing to get more farmers, right? Like... It's just like, to me, when I started asking questions about why do we see so many cop shows on TV. It's a way they advertise to get more cops. So that's what makes me angry. People constantly complain about something but won't even do a page of paperwork. Listen, this is the thing, Mr. McCoy. You can make a lot of money in this country doing people's paperwork. I'm gonna tell you, there's a thing called procurement agent. I had hired a procurement agent. I trained a person to be my procurement person while I owned my two while I was in my trucking company and while I had 2 locations. I had 2 offices. And if I had just trained her faster to just every day do like my personal trainer, spend 45 minutes to an hour every day just reading, researching, submitting every day. I don't care who it is, what it is, just keep submitting. Because there's just millions out there, right? And that'll be into the Somalian segment in a second. But same thing with farming. Like, there was a piece of land that was like less than 12 acres outside of Austin. And at the time, my friend was like, what are you going to do with that? And I should have just been like, shut up. You don't know anything. Get me this piece of land. Like, let's close on this deal, because I could have done millions of things, right? But we live, we learn. So that was my two cents for that little segment. Let me go on to the next. Okay, you remember saying another video? For sure. This again, Austin. I just want y'all to understand what's kind of happening here in the Austin area. Y'all keep acting like, well, Erica, you talk about North Carolina, you talk about Tennessee. There's like 10 cities for the next 24 months that are going to go insane. What's funny is I just was having my inner circle folks, we'll have this conversation later this week. I just got invited to somebody wanting to invest in an apartment building in Tennessee. And I started laughing because I was like, we were just in that city. And I told y'all this is a massive area. So let me go over here. Okay, let me play this for y'all right here. There's two big things happening, which I told y'all will continue to happen. Share this tab, should be playing.
Company in the world just doubled down on Austin. NVIDIA now sitting at a $4.3 trillion market cap, just expanded its office footprint near Cedar Park, renewing and growing its lease. The crossings at Lakeline, a 7,900 square foot, up from about 50,000. And that's not all. Earlier this year, NVIDIA also locked in roughly 100,000 square feet at One Uptown in North Austin, part of a massive Uptown ATX development near the Domain. That lease starts in early 2026 and runs for 10 years with options to expand even further. NVIDIA is quietly building a major North Austin presence. So why does this location matter? Well, both sites are about 15 minutes from Dell's headquarters in Round Rock, and NVIDIA and Dell are now deep partners in building AI factories and AI optimized servers. Dell's AI server backlog alone is already $14.4 billion. Add in nearby talent from Amazon, IBM, and broader North Austin tech corridor, and this move makes a lot of sense. Now, NVIDIA once explored a 300,000 square foot campus in Cedar Park. Instead, it's choosing flexible, high-end office space right in North Austin's fastest growing tech scene. So does this make the Austin tech scene stronger for the future? You tell me in the comment section. And do you think more companies should be investing in the Austin area? I'm Jeremy Knight, your favorite Austin realtor. Make sure you write the word update. So Austin, Texas is now going to be the site of Blue Origin's rockets with the good old Jeff Bezos. Well, Central Texas could be on the verge of landing one of the biggest aerospace deals in history, and it involves Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin. The space company is actively scouting roughly 100 acres in Texas to build a manufacturing facility and logistics center, and multiple cities in the Austin area are now competing to win. Which city do you think is going to win, and which city do you want to win? So they're going to do 20 acres of manufacturing, 80 acres of logistics. It's going to be about 15 miles off the I-30 and just under $1 billion with 2,200 jobs over the next 5 years. Williamson County cities are reportedly submitted multiple sites, and the process is moving fast. Cities were given weeks, not months, to respond. So this is going to be coming to Austin, Texas. Do you like it or not? And should we be getting more like this? I'm Jeremy Knight, your favorite Austin.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it. I don't know if you can see the map big enough. I think it's not big enough. It's not big enough. Oh, I hate that. Okay, but if you were to go look at this actual Instagram page, you can look at it your own time. I will probably go over this inner circle group and also land grab class. I'll probably go over both of this particular one in particular. Okay, because if you see where the map he's drawn, that is going up towards Taylor. Okay. And what I told y'all about Taylor is they had already told the city, listen, we're going to bring 10,000 Koreans. They didn't say 10,000 Koreans and that counts as some of their family. No, 10,000 South Koreans. They're bringing them to that area off to the right of that drawing right here. Now, if you want to go in here, you can go look. I've always lived in North Austin. Now, I've lived in South Austin twice. I lived in by William Cannon, if you know where that is, and I lived even further south than that. Now I've lived all the way in Georgetown before it blew up, and I remember seeing a duplex for 150, and I was telling my family about it, and they're like, "Oh, it's dirty over there," and now that same area is like $700,000 for that same duplex. Okay, so I just want y'all to understand what's happening. Georgetown was this place where a lot of retirees were, and I'm gonna show another clip in a second. And still are. There's also a group of retirees going to San Marcos. Now, why am I telling you this? You're like, Erica, what does this got to do? If you're going to be in or around me over the next 24 months, you're in my inner circle, you're in my events that way, you're going to see me in 3 locations heavy. And I'm just saying it. It doesn't matter. You're like, don't tell me I'm never telling you my exact plans, but northeast Texas, of northeast of Austin, right, which is this area that's in this shape right here, North Carolina, and also Tennessee. These are 3 areas we'll be heavily investing in. A lot of opportunity. A lot of people have made calls to me. If I could tell you how many wholesalers hit my phone up every week, it'd be comical. It's just gonna be gangbusters, right? And there's like a particular, I want to get to a point in Texas where I own some cattle. And I mean, when I say cattle, I mean bulls that breed. But we'll talk about that more on another day. If I can ever get my farm friend to come on, he can talk to about some of that. But if you look at that map, you have Florence and Gerald. Now, Florence used to be where the Klan hid out at. Now all the Klan's dead. It's a bunch of Middle Eastern and older Black farmers out there now. Not totally gone, but again, Liberty Hill, when you told somebody Liberty Hill, that was like you live in Dallas. Oh, girl, you live in Liberty Hill from Austin? You live in Dallas. Now I meet people who will say, oh, I used to live in Austin in the 70s. Then I moved to Round Rock, and now I live in Liberty Hill. And you're like, what? There was an office I wanted to buy in Liberty Hill, and people were like, Liberty Hill, Erica? And now you see 10,000 South Koreans, another 10,000 jobs going that way. North Austin always had the opportunity to grow. It's South that didn't. And people don't understand that. From South Austin to San Antonio, that area is already overcongested. It's overcongested. Gerald has 7,000 homes being built. That was where that, if you saw Ground Zero, if you ever came to Austin during some of my events, Ground Zero was going to be in Gerald. They sold to another person for $3 million. I was like, I can pay you 1.3. I can't pay you 3 mil. And I lost that deal, right? If you look at that map, Leander's kind of maxed out because of the way the shape of this, before you get to the mountain over there. There's just a lot going on that I could go over into this video, but I can't. And we don't have enough time. We just don't. But here's the second part about Georgetown. Here we go. That I want you to understand what's happening, because they have water up there.
Neighborhoods pop up with no local police department, shifting the burden to the county. Judge Steve Schnell says that 185,000 people already live in MUDs that are built or under construction. And within 20 years, that number could hit about 340,000. That's more than 3 times the size of Georgetown today, all relying heavily on county services like law enforcement, fire, and EMS. Developers say MUDs help fund infrastructure and expand tax revenue, but leaders agree this will only work if public safety planning keeps pace with development. Now, can Williamson County grow this fast without sacrificing quality of life that made people move here in the first place? That's for you to tell me in the comment section. I'm Jermaine, your favorite Austin realtor. I did the news so you don't have to. Make sure you write the word update in the comments below. That way you get on the email list. Now, I've seen so much growth in Williamson County, and this is what we talk about, especially with water. And they didn't even talk about water in here. What do you think? One of the Austin area counties that is growing the fastest is Williamson County. Their expansion is so crazy that it's creating a public safety problem. Local leaders say it's getting serious. At the Williamson County Growth Summit, Georgetown Mayor Josh Schroeder warned that the way suburbs are being built, especially through MUDs and PIDs outside city limits, is stretching public safety to a breaking point. I'm curious, if you are in the Austin area, Georgetown, are you worried about the growth causing major problems in the future? Tell me in the comment section below. But these neighborhoods aren't protected by city police. They rely on county sheriff, who has to cover massive territory as the growth.
And I don't think y'all understand when I say massive territory. I'm talking about, for me, driving from the other side of Gerald to Andice is 35 minutes. And when you get to Andice, that's still Georgetown, considered Georgetown by where the old elderly folks are. There's no police. The police can't get that far out. Like, we used to deliver pizza before you got to Andice. When I worked in property management in Georgetown, Texas, and delivered pizza, they were like, girl, what you doing out here, girl? I didn't know girls were delivering pizza out here. I mean, the most country folks you ever met, but it was hilarious because there wasn't police. And the Papa John's worker was like, we don't care if y'all carry guns in y'all car. We don't know, y'all going way out there. And I just want you to understand now that this growth is happening. That area in 2017. That's right before YouTube took crazy off for me. I think it was 2016. I remember them saying Papa John's had a plan for just that Williamson County to build 15 Papa John's. It is. Ondice is its own county, and I don't know how they're trying to annex them. And so I went to go look at a piece of land to build a luxury home. And by the time we drove out there, me, my spouse, and the person was like, this is forever out here. But people were building $600,000 to $1 million homes out there, and they were selling. And so I just want you to understand, like, the massive opportunities over the next 24 months in 3 particular areas that I'm going to go hard in. And it requires me to kind of shift a little off here a little bit. There'll be more content, but in a different way, a lot more vlogging. I just don't think y'all ready to hear that. Like, a lot of people are like, the economy's going to crash, Erica. It's going to be just so terrible. And I'm like, I really hate that you believe that. I wish I could just have a whole session with you to show all this data where these people are coming and opening up stuff, and you just have to be skilled and you're going to be okay. Right. I wish I could do that, but I know I can't convince everybody. I never will be able to. So I'm gonna keep it pushing. Let me see if I have that other link. Do I have the other link? I don't think I got it. I don't. Oh, this might be a good one for y'all. Here we go.
By eliminating distraction. Is there one commitment that I should get rid of? Like, what's one less commitment that I can make? What's one less obligation for 2026 that I could get? Maybe there's people in my life that, like, honestly, I'm on a little bit of friend reduction right now. You know, I want people that energize me in my life versus people that take away my energy. So the first step, getting ready for next year, even in planning, is to get as light as I can going into 2026. You don't get to be super successful by adding more goals. You get super successful by eliminating distraction. Is there one commitment that I should get rid of? Like, what's one less commitment that I can make? What's one less obligation for 2026 that I could get? Maybe there's people in my life that, like, honestly, I'm on a little bit of friend reduction right now. You know, I want people that energize me in my life versus people that take away my energy. So the first step, getting ready for next year, even in planning, is to get as light as I can going into 2026. You don't get to be super successful by adding more goals. You get super successful by eliminating distraction. Is there one commitment that I should get rid of?
Okay. Y'all hear that? Y'all got it. I hope y'all got it. I just want you to understand, like, when I talk about planning and, like, planning your life, and you got to plan it. And I know some people like, that just sounds so not fun, Erica. That sounds terrible. Where's the fun? You have to schedule the fun. And you have to schedule, how much energy do I need to give to this project to make it successful? How is 4 hours every day for the next year look for me? And how does it change my life? How does it change the numbers? How does it move the needle? I just don't think people I don't think people realize how much, like, focus you'll need. And you can't be out here. I think David Williams posted, gossip is like corn for women. Again, C, not a P. I don't want to get in trouble. And I laugh about that because I'm thinking it's for both people. I'm thinking it's for men and women. I'm coming out here and it's like sports gossip all day. Like, did you know that this player had a baby mama? You're like, what is this got to do with this football player's stats and numbers? Yeah, because his mama's lost her toe from diabetes, and that's why he ain't been playing well. Like, wait a minute. How does this have anything to do with the game, right? And so we have a problem in our society where people are, like, watching people live and not living enough for themselves. Right. And that's my 2 cents on that. I'm gonna get out of there. I'm gonna step out of that. But let me go over to, I think I was gonna talk to you about elder care. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna do some elder care. And let's get into that. Okay. What's up from Atlanta? I see you guys. What's up, Phoenix, Arizona? Appreciate you so much. Your knowledge and wisdom had genuinely made positive impact on my life and many others. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, you guys. I really do. It's been a blast. I wouldn't change any of this stuff. There's always a path you have to go on and go through. And then you get to a point you're like, oh, well, I could do A, B, and C even better if, Lord willing, right? So let me go here. I was trying to show y'all the elder care. Ooh, there's a couple things I want to show y'all. Let me go to elder care first, though. Now, we've been talking about elder care a lot on here, but I'm going to go from this perspective and just hear this lady, and then I'm going to show you another post on her page.
That I have, where my staff and she would ask about her son every single day. She would cry. She would say, I miss my son, my son. A year went by. He never called. He never visited. All I know is every month he made payment, but he never would call. He would never visit. And my staff was upset, and I was getting a little upset that, gosh, he don't care about his mom. He ain't even calling us. Like, what's wrong with this man? So I got big and bold and bad. Even though this man paying me, I picked up the phone and I said, hey, you need to call your mama. Your mama asks about you every day, sometimes to the point that she's crying. And he said, LaTanya, the only time you should call me is when she's dead. And I said, what? And I thought I heard him wrong. And he said, the only time you should call me is when she's dead. And he shared with me, he said, I was abused badly by my dad. And she stood by. And he said, if you knew the scars mentally and physically that I endured, that to pay for her care is the best I got for her. And there's nothing I can say to my mom, Tanya. The only thing that you can do is call me when she passes away. I will, and I know that she's in a good place. I know that you guys are taking good care of her. And that's something she didn't do for me. He said, so don't ever call me again. And I said, I'm sorry. And he started crying. He said, you have no idea what I endured. And she watched. She's just as guilty as my dad. And I said, you know what? I apologize. And that day, I learned to mind my business.
Y'all, if you know how many stories I've watched on here, when I worked at the Catholic Charities, I helped do the resumes for the homeless men. And, just people be going through. Okay. People be going through, and we really try hard to, oh, it's your mom, it's your dad. You better take care of them. Honor your parents. That's the best he can do. He's paying for it. I've watched 2 people right now whose fathers were on crack in the 80s and 90s, and then their children got wealthy. They still treated their children like crap, and they had to bury their fathers. I just finished watching 2 people. I said, oh my God, God bless you. I just send them prayers. I send them messages. I text them like, hey, God bless you. That's rough what you're going through. And people, when you see elderly people, they're older, you think, oh my God, that poor elderly person, how dare their family. But y'all don't know how bad people's parents was acting when they was young. I'm talking about toe up from the floor. But I remember watching this video. This guy was breaking down crying because his dad came to visit him. He hadn't seen his dad in years. He lives in New Jersey. His dad's in North Carolina, in the military base, Jacksonville. And the craziest part is that's not even far. You can just hop in the car and drive. It's not like New Jersey and North Carolina is crazy far. We have people doing that drive all the time. And I guess he was going through some health issues, and his wife just paid for the dad ticket to come. And the dad, he was like, my parents haven't been in the same room at the same time since I was a 4-year-old kid. Y'all, that's crazy. But y'all have to understand, some of these people are like, I'm a great parent. If you ain't been in the room with your son in 8 years, 9 years, and then before that, you ain't been in the room with him, his mama, and him since he was 4 years old, you got to be careful saying you a great parent. Y'all can be on the phone all day, but that don't mean you a great parent, okay? But I'm going to step out of there. Because y'all going to be like, don't you do that, Erica. You hush your mouth. Okay, I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to go over to this point. This is the point. Okay?
So what I thought was, I ain't getting ready to give nobody no $4,000, $5,000. I'll just go out and find someone on my own. If I let the bed sit and my bed was empty for a long time. If I got a placement agency that's coming to me and saying, hey, I can fill all these beds, it was so much more worth it to partner with them rather than having empty beds and every month not even making a profit. So if you really want to be profitable, guys, don't count the other person's pockets and don't think you can do it all. Once I figured out that I need to build partnerships, I need to work, and I need to understand that building these relationships, talking to the referral agencies, that it benefits me in the long run. So now I do things a lot differently than what I did before. But you must build relationships and don't let those beds sit empty.
Okay. I'm gonna go over her numbers real quick on the back wall that's behind her that y'all gonna see it. There's another video, I can watch it. So she has 6 beds, 6 residents times 6,000 is 36K a month. She nets 17,000. So payroll's 10K, you know, the food, the mortgage, the incidentals, all that stuff. She nets 17K. I will tell you this again. I have friends who have 10 group homes or assisted living homes in the DFW. Y'all like, who's paying this? The government is paying most of this. The government. I like this woman's page. I can go check her out. I'm not advocating saying I know her, I don't know her. I just keep pointing out people that I send y'all to because I don't know everything, and I don't try to lie and say I know everything. Right? That's not my space. 5 years ago, she had a negative bank account. Today, they own 4 assisted living facilities. They have a construction company and own 9 properties. Now, you're going to say, well, Erica, how can they do this? And it's really about being intentional. That's the best way I say it. It's about being intentional. You have to plan, you have to mark this stuff out. How are you going to do it? When you're going to do it? How is it going to get there? Do we have enough space? And I just want you to understand, we have a boomer issue, and we also have older Black men coming out of prison, older white men coming out of prison. They've been there 20, 30, 40 years. They're coming out. Nobody's alive. They need assistance living. People that have a stroke, but they have nobody at home. I remember when TLA was saying he had cancer and he couldn't even get one of the procedures because they're like, do you have anybody at home to take care of you? So, there is a range of places and placements. And so what she was talking about in the video is she didn't want to pay this placement community $4,000. And they're like, we'll get people placed in your place. We'll go run around and find the clients for you. She's like, I'm not paying nobody $4,000. And the bed sat empty for a year. So she rather risk $6,000 times 12, which is $72,000, lose out on $72,000 for the year than instead of paying a company $4K. That's why she keeps saying in a lot of her videos, mind your business and just pay the transaction fee, because you can't do all this stuff alone. I was going to read your comments here. She's lucky she's getting provided for financial care. That's why nursing homes aren't going out of business anytime soon. Facts. I used to work at a nursing home and they absolutely did not come visit. I believe you. This is real life and so many people go through this. I worked in a nursing home years ago. The stories, baby. Whew. And these people when they was young, they was acting a fool, right? But if you go check out her page, I mean, I'm just giving props to her. There's so many really good quality people online that I think y'all don't get to see them. She got turned down for a 14-bed facility. The county denied her request to build it, and she later closed on a 53 turnkey facility that she agreed to sell 2 years after asking me, because she, again, she asked this person, would you like to sell this to me? The person didn't want to. 2 years later, to come back and sell it to her. Y'all have to understand, at any point in time when you're talking to people who own businesses, they could be looking to get out of the deal. At any point in time, you could talk to somebody who owns a really great company. They could be like, you know what? Life's changed for me. I want to go do something else. I have grandkids, whatever. Don't give up on asking, right? So you guys can go. Again, I love how she talks about herself in this way. She goes, teenage mom, college dropout, foster care. Mom died when she was 16. Dad died when she was 19. Father of my child was killed at 23. I own a construction company and 4 assisted living facilities. Proof you can overcome. I just always tell y'all, like, every time you think, oh my God, my life is a struggle, I meet another person, I'll be like, you know what, girl, just go ahead and hush and go out the door. Somebody's life is always, somebody's story is always worse. I remember at church, I said, if we all threw our problems in a pit, in a fire, and we had to see each other's problems, we jump in that pit to get our problem back out the fire, because that's how bad other people's lives are. You just never know. It's not a competition. I'm just letting you know. You can go check her page, and she goes over this multiple times. She teaches people. I'm pointing her out because a lot of times y'all be like, Erica, somebody wanted me to pay like 20, 30K. You better get in with the people with the low numbers, because while they're teaching cheap, in a year or two, they won't be cheap. I'll just put it to you this way. I think that's somebody y'all might want to check out. But she goes over the numbers all the time, puts it on the board, how much for groceries, how much for insurance, how much for incidentals. This is a big market, and y'all just not ready to hear how big of a market this is. So let me get out of there. Because I think that's the only two I have for elder care. Now I'm gonna go somewhere. I don't know if y'all ready to go there. We're gonna be talking about the Somalians. We're gonna be talking about the fraud. The fraud. And Malik Carter is mad with me because I keep bringing this up every day, but I'm gonna keep bringing it up because they keep frauding. Okay, hold on a second. What time is 49? Ooh, we getting deep into it. Hold on, 49. What's that? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Everything okay? Okay, cool. All right, so this right here is something we've talked about before. Half of Minnesota's $18 billion welfare funds have been lost to fraud. Now you're gonna say, where? That don't mean the Somalians. I mean, it could be anybody. It could be white, black, whoever. I know there's a fan beside me. I hope it's not too loud, you guys. It could be anybody stealing them funds. But is it anybody, y'all? Let's go start our investigation. All right, let's get into it. Because, you know, people keep saying, Erica, you're picking. I did a Jewish video. I did this video. I'm just telling you what's going on. Here we go.
Yet they spelled learning wrong, and they said leering. This daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these childcare centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday. If you were to try to go inside, it's completely closed and the windows are all blacked out. No one's working. Midday, children should be in here, and this place is licensed for 99 children, and this is the outside. There's no windows, no nothing. And like I said, they literally spelled the word wrong on their sign. This is open and blatant fraud taking place here inside of Minnesota. The government is complicit with this, and this is just one of the hundreds of child daycare centers here inside of Minneapolis being ran by the Somali population. It's sad that it's happening here in Minnesota, and it stinks that it's happening and it's being labeled on the Somali population. However, that's just the facts of what's happening here inside of Minnesota. $1.9 million for this daycare center that can't even spell learning right. Here in Minnesota, massive fraud is taking place within the government and the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong and they said leering. This daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange thing—
Oh, wait, 1.9 million? Huh. Interesting. Hold on, I got another one. Hold on a second. We got more, baby.
Somalians have bought these homes is because all of a sudden extremely nice cars start showing up. Mercedes, BMWs, the nicest cars are parked in the driveway. And she said by law, the state will not come out and inspect these homes and make sure these homes even have clients living in these homes. She also said, as a realtor, she cannot disclose to people wanting to buy homes in this neighborhood that Somalians have bought that home and they're using that as a home health care center. She said these homes can even take people in who've just been released from jail, and the neighborhood does not need to know about this. But she says many of these homes do not even have clients in them. But the state is writing them checks every month for the clients that the Somalians say are in these homes. And these Somalians are making millions of dollars off of these homes every year. The Somalians have figured out exactly the perfect plan as to how to scam Minnesota taxpayers out of their money. They are banking on this, making millions of dollars. And the government here in Minnesota is too lazy to go and check it out and to see if there's even clients living in these homes. The fraud in Minnesota is so deep. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Here in Minnesota, a local realtor reached out to me to tell me about another way that Somalians are scamming Minnesotans out of their taxpayer dollars. In her community alone, Somalians have bought up over 455 homes. They buy these homes, claiming they're turning these homes into home health care centers. She says the way we know Somalians have bought these homes is because all of a sudden extremely nice cars start showing up.
Now I'm laughing because immediately when this lady's like nice cars start showing up, there's nothing wrong with having nice cars. But I just want you to understand, like we've been talking about, Minnesota had 80, if not 90 people. Me and Malik been going back and forth on this in the messages. It's pretty funny about, well, there's all kind of people scamming. No, this is Somalians starting whole little shopping centers, starting daycare, starting home health care, starting trucking companies, and immediately going in applying for government aid, government assistance, applying for government to sponsor. If you know anything about, there's like children learning development. I forgot the full sentence, but essentially it's where you're telling the government, hey, we're going to help these children who are bilingual learn English. We're going to do all this stuff. Now this guy runs around and he's like stereotypical white dude running around putting himself in danger, but you can go look at his page. He's actually doing a pretty good job. He did a bunch of New York City. He did Somalian stuff. It's pretty wow. It's pretty wow. But I'll show this one more clip and I'll say my thoughts on it.
Has been taken over by Somalis.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about the Somali takeover?
Get out.
I don't know.
You don't want him here?
I mean, we can't.
I mean, I'm fine with them. It's just that it's overpopulating.
Do you feel like they're gonna eventually overpopulate the Americans here?
Yeah, they definitely will.
And did you guys vote for them to come here? As far as did you guys have to pass any legislation in order to receive them?
No.
In your personal opinion, what's the biggest issue with them being here inside of you guys' city?
Driving. It's always a car crash for no reason.
Robbing people.
Yeah, definitely crime. Pirates.
And the correlation between the Somalis and Muslims, are the majority of them all Muslims?
Yeah.
So 10 years from now, do you guys think the Somalis will be the majority here?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you guys think St. Cloud has been taken over by Somalis?
Okay, somebody's gonna be like, Erica, you're just going too hard. You're going too hard on the Muslim people and the Somali. You keep talking about them. Y'all, there was a whole show I wanted to do. I had to stop myself because when I got access to this particular capital, I was like, let me hold that back. Let me hold that. Let me hold that back. Okay. Because I don't think I want to do that. Let me hold that back. So yeah, you can go check out his page. I'm not going to go too deep on that, but here's my short answer. The government, it cannot directly feed your children. The government cannot directly take care of you. The government cannot directly take care of people coming out of prison. The government cannot take direct care of certain things. They do that through business. Small business owners. See, a lot of people will say, there's a guy, no regrets, no disrespect. I like his channel. I like his gusto. I like his fire. He's a blue collar guy. And he was like, all these people scamming, these stock people telling you stuff. And he has some good talking points. You know what I mean? No problem. He has some good talking points. But at the end of the day, everybody's not going to be blue collar. Everybody's not going to be white collar. There's going to be a huge service class that is going to have to facilitate these elderly people. There's going to have to be a huge service class that facilitates daycares. There's going to be a huge class that facilitates just basic care, right? Like the Somalians that got in trouble for stealing over $1 billion is this almost $1 billion. They're trying to calculate it. They were telling people that they were feeding 3,000 children a day at their food center, right? And they weren't, right? They literally put some police cars out there. I mean, maybe 12 kids a day came in there. And so imagine the government is like, we need to feed 3,000 children because this area is impoverished. How can we feed 3,000 children a day? We have to do that via nonprofits, via businesses that service these communities. And so we can't sit here and argue that shame on them Somalians, shame on the Jewish, shame on all these people coming in, feeding the kids that we are complaining about need food if you aren't going to start the business, if you aren't going to start the company. We cannot blame them for this. I mean, again, the government should be doing its job, checking these places, checking these facilities, seeing if they're actually feeding people, if they're actually doing what they say they're doing, right? All these things should be happening. It doesn't always happen. Okay. But ultimately, you guys have to understand what's happening right now. Like the government's like, well, we're putting more money than ever to help the poor, help people get fed. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, who's going to service them? The government's put the money aside. Who's going to service them? And so that's why you're seeing me talk so much about home health care and so many things here in that lane. Now I'm going to do another one. I'm gonna add one more to the group, the New York and the New Jersey folks. And I'm gonna go there. You know who I'm talking about. I can't say it, but we'll just go ahead and play this video.
Licenses and Inspections posted stop work orders, forcing crews at dozens of properties to wrap up for the day.
They have to cease any operations. They have to cease any work being done.
Commissioner for the Department of Licenses and Inspections, Basil Miranda, says his team issued more than 80 of these stop work orders to properties being worked on by Elegance Group, a contractor that is no longer licensed after an L&I review board unanimously moved to revoke its license earlier this week.
We want to make sure that contractors and construction is being done properly in every neighborhood of the city.
L&I issued Elegance Group violations, blaming them for this building collapse in North Philadelphia this past August. NBC 10 investigators found that days before that collapse, the owners of Elegance Group had their license suspended under a different business name, Expert Builders.
It's a violation to create an alter ego.
An alter ego is when the owners of a contracting business continue to work under a different name after its license is revoked. Owner of Elegance Group declined an interview with NBC 10, but said they respect the city's decision, confirming their company has ceased operations on all projects today and will transfer ongoing projects to other contractors. The new contractors will have to be cleared by L&I's Audits and Investigations Unit. Until that happens, L&I says they will have boots on the ground here to make sure no one's violating these stop work orders. What message does this send today?
This message says that this is no longer going to be tolerated.
L&I's commissioner says thanks to a reorganization of the department, they will have more people on the lookout for any contractors trying to evade violations by operating under an alter ego.
We're in position now to take strong action.
Siobhan McGurl, NBC 10 News. The buzzing of equipment did not last.
Now, let me be very clear what was said and not said, and also inside the comments. And I'll even be very transparent with y'all. The most people I know, when they got one LLC, they got 10. When they got one LLC, they got 10. Now you're gonna say, Erica, no, that's crazy. Who has time for the paperwork? That's why I laugh when y'all be like, Erica, in California it costs $800. Erica, over here it costs $200. Erica, over here it costs $300. North Carolina costs $125. Y'all, listen, you're not ready for business. It's okay. Just go to work. Just save your money up. If you're about to faint because you got to pay $125 for LLC, baby, you ain't ready. You ain't ready on no level, no earth, no capacity. I'm telling you, the average person I'm meeting, they have 10 to 20 LLCs. They have a whole system, QuickBooks logins. They got a whole, I'm not calling it a scam. I'm just saying they loaded up in 2020 and all these other times on credit cards and business funding. And this is very common. Oh, your group can't do it. Y'all got flagged. Okay, no problem. Change your t-shirts. Everybody is Xanatos Clutch builders today, right? So now everybody's got new t-shirts on back at the job site. Same people. It happens all the time. This is not uncommon. This is not new. This is not foreign. A lot of what's happening now is the hammer is coming down because of New York. Okay, New York, Jewish group of men who came down and essentially filled out hundreds of applications and got $40 million to $100 million. When they finished doing the calculations, was closer to $100 million. Then they never did any of the work. That's why when you see Baltimore, you're like, what's going on? These houses are purchased by LLCs. They're supposed to be starting work. What happened? No work has been happening. They just ran off with the money, or they put the money into other projects. That's why I keep telling y'all, like, y'all keep saying, where's all this money? All you see is blighted, raggedy, busted up Maryland, parts of Maryland and parts of Detroit and parts of other cities and states. And it's because the people who get the loans, who qualify to the banks and their friends, don't do the work. Or when they do the work, they doing shoddy work. They doing quick work. They doing cheap work. They're coming in and out as bad boy. Oh no, Xanatos Clutch builders. They busted a pipe in the neighborhood. Oh, no problem. Xanatos Clutch expert builders have come out today, and now they're going to build. Y'all, this is why when we talk about the African American community and the level of conversation we're having, it's got to come up. Right? Even if it's just 20% of us, the conversation level has to go up. Y'all out here gossiping. Who's this? Who's that? Who's scamming here? Silly stuff. Look at what the kids did at school. Look at this mumble rapper. Look at the Bad Girls Club. All this silly mess that have nothing to do with American daily life. If you when you see all this stuff like immigrants build America, no, African American people built America. Before 1920, every black person you ran into could fix, sew, mop, stitch together, make clothes, tobacco, farming, roofing, you name it, they could do it all. Because they were the only people really trained in this country. Right? Go back and look at the documents for the White House, right? You had 2 or 3 engineers and a bunch of black people running around putting it together. And now they try to downplay, well, yeah, black people did do it, but you know, these engineers told them how. The engineer won't out there holding the wood with them slaves. They told them go over there and do it. And them slaves already been building. So they're like, okay, keep it pushing. Yeah, we know what doing. We know what we're talking about. Boom, 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 boom. And those structures still exist to this day. So if your people in general can't build, don't own the daycare, don't own the school, don't own the food bank, don't own the living assistance, don't have a building they can go to, don't own the joints and bars anymore, don't know how to do construction, you are a zoned out people. You're out the zone. Like there's no play for you. That's why when they be like, yeah, just do the play. I'm like, what play? Getting credit cards ain't the play, y'all. It's real estate is the play. Construction is the play, right? The further you get into it, if you meet anybody that has a business right now, when you meet them, you get a little further into the game, you're like, oh, I need to do more construction. Oh, I need to own more rentals. Because there's some people I know right now with just 5 and they chilling. They wife chilling, they chilling. Okay. Oh yeah, the corruption run under government watch is insane. But this is very common. I just want to do this segment, and I know people be like, well, Erica, you said you ain't gonna be talking about people be scamming and stuff. I'm not. I want you to understand what we're up against when you don't own a business, when you don't own a plaza, when you don't own the daycare, when nobody in your community owns any of these things. It's like, I don't know what y'all think your power play is in this country. Yeah, we can be the tastemakers. Yeah, we can influence music. Yeah, we can influence, the jazz festivals be lit because we're there, right? But ultimately, y'all, like, not in these real estate plays. That's why these Hispanic people ain't leaving to the last minute. Like you dragging them out of the country. They're like, I've been here 40 years not learning no language. What you talking about? I own houses and cars because they get to what is necessary. What? Construction, building, necessary components to our society. Nobody wants to hear that, but that's the truth. Now, I'm gonna segue for a second here. There's 2 things I'm gonna segue out. We're gonna close out that section. Call that scamonomics right there. That was scammers are Somalians, whatever you want to call that segment. And I'm gonna go over here to this because I want you to understand what's happening out here. Here we go.
This is quite a chicken.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it profitable? Is it good money?
I'm for cash flow, not much, but for the equity.
Oh.
Because now before the chicken farm make a good money, but now the pay from the chicken company pay okay when they bring the chicken the chick in, and then after 2 months, and then they come and then take the chicken out.
Okay.
And before we make the money, but not now because the cost of motor, the fan, buy the land and build it up.
Yeah.
And then for the cash flow doesn't much, but we focus on the equity.
Yeah.
Because for like just like a home, the house that you bought about 30 years, this one about 15 years of mortgage.
I see. For the land.
After 15 years, so we pay off. That's very good. But,
what are you building here?
A chicken farm.
Chicken farm.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the quite a chicken.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it profitable? Is it good money?
Okay. I'm gonna break it down. I'm not gonna be disrespectful because he does have an accent, y'all. No disrespect. The Vietnamese that were in Louisiana and in parts of Arkansas came in the farmer fisher capacity, right? And fishing has kind of like ran its course with them, fishing and nails. Now, what if you missed out what he just said? They're starting a chicken farm. They're going to build those houses over there. They're going to build the chicken farm. The cash flow from the chicken farm and the contracts that we'll have, they'll be done with this house and the land payments in 15 years. And guess what they're going to do? Sell an active live chicken farm with houses on it. Now you're gonna say 15 years, Erica. Oh my God, 15 years is a long time. Okay, now 15 years, let's really be honest with y'all. 10 years gonna go either way. Now it might take them 3 years to get that all nice and getting it into motion and do it, but they're gonna build a nice farmhouse out there. They're gonna get some nice contracts. And when that 15-year mark is up, that house will still be nice. The land will still be good. They might even be separate the house from the land, right? This a business plan. That's a structure. Like they were going to spend 15 years inside of a nail salon, 15 years inside of a fish market, 15 years inside of a fishing boat. They were already going to spend those 15 years. And one of the deadliest things and problems we have is we oh my God, Erica, it didn't work in 30 days. I quit. Oh, I can't take it. 30 days? Oh, Erica, I pay for that credit repair person. I'm ready for it to be done. You didn't mess your credit up in 30 days. How you think it's going to be done in 30 days? Oh, Erica, it's just too much work to go do it DIY myself and do it. You had enough energy and focus to blow your credit up over the past 5 years. You can have enough energy and focus to fix it over the next year and some change, the next 7 months, the next 6 months, right? I always tell people, if you don't got a problem with that, you can just pay them people. Again, the people that are writing these news articles, oh, the millennials that are trapped in their houses because they bought a house in 2020 with a 2% mortgage. Them people ain't trapped in them houses. They were going to have to stay somewhere anyway, correct? Now they get to adjust their thinking because the interest rates are so low on those house mortgages. Okay, so again, I meant to put this segment in with the farming. I messed up, but at the end of the day, I want you to understand, like, these people are coming through with a plan, and the 15 years is gonna pass either way, right? So some people gonna say, Erica, 15 is too long for me, baby. You need to tell me something I can do in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Anything I tell y'all to do in 2 to 4 years is gonna be labor intensive, and you don't like labor. Anything I tell y'all to do in 2 to 4 years is going to be, you've been spending money on Facebook ads, Google local service ads, and you're going to have your foot in the sauce, and you ain't going to want to do that. Let's just be honest, right? That's why when I'm in Digital Liberty Warriors, I'm showing like all the different websites you can go pick people up from. You can pay for UGC content, because there's always going to be a bunch of young people who want to stay home. There's going to be a bunch of older people that want to stay home. And what's the easiest thing for them to do? I'll pick up a camera. Oh yeah, I'll film my whole family before I go out there and have to actually work a farm and do real work. That's crazy talk you talking. Real work? Right? So again, we're going to miss out on that because it's a long game. Now, what's happening at the same time? This is why this is important. This is, even though I got the order out of order, this is what's happening to y'all on the back end. Here we go. Let me play this for you.
Method needs updating. Cannot permit the installed cartridge.
Next, this one's super fun. We've been waiting for this one. Volkswagen charging $16.50 a month, or euros or whatever, to unlock 20 horsepower on your car. You need that extra 20 horsepower that the car comes with? You have to pay $16.50 a month. So you know how your car has features that are already installed into it? Heated seats, we all love it. This one's fun. Imagine having to pay $15 a month in order to get your heated seats to actually work. That's pretty awesome. And a quick word from George Soros, our wonderful sponsor. To me, none of this stuff is about convenience. Having Apple CarPlay is nice and all, but having to pay for horsepower and all these different subscription-based services so I can have analytics, it's about conveniency? No, it's about us being dependent on the internet and Wi-Fi and all these app-based subscriptions. Then all of a sudden we can't get out of it. They want you to have permission for your own property.
This weekend, I had to buy a new dishwasher because our old GE died. I bought a Bosch 500 series because that's what Consumer Reports recommended, and more importantly, I could find one in stock. After my dad and I got it installed, I went to run a rinse cycle, only to find that, along with features like delayed start and eco mode, require an app. Not only that, to use the app, you have to connect your dishwasher to Wi-Fi.
They can go and change the terms for this whenever they want. Let's say tomorrow they say there's a policy that says, if you don't do this, blah, 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 on the app that you downloaded for your dishwasher, we're going to stop letting you use it. Your dishwasher doesn't work anymore unless you connect to the app and pay for $10 a month. But anyway, that's not the real goal. The revenue is not the real goal. See, the heads of these companies and these corporations, they go and meet with the world leaders, and they're sitting down with them, talking about smart cities, they're not stupid. This is not just, oh, this is a stupid feature. Don't call this stupid. This is coordinated. They're very smart. They want you to have smart systems in your refrigerator telling you when you can and cannot have meat inside of it because, well, we cannot cool it all the time. In other news, your social credit score will be boosted if you comment, share, and like this video. Failure to comply will make your coffee brewer not brew its coffee until you rethink your life choices. And now, Jenkins with the weather modification report. Jenkins?
I'm losing my mind over this. Here's what's happening. My partner and I got a new printer. It was an HP. It's
Okay, now you're gonna be like, Erica, that's dramatic, Erica. No, I'm serious. like one of the help desk jobs that was in the ebooks that I put out, the tech ebooks. One of y'all got joined one of the temporary companies, and y'all worked for HP, and told me like majority of it is HP putting people on subscriptions. And that's why I'd be laughing, y'all cracking me up, because y'all don't think this is happening, and that's why there is a return to old washing machines, old washer and dryers, old refrigerators. People are doing it for the vintage look, vintage Broncos, redone up trucks and Broncos. There's a bunch of YouTubers in Texas doing the whole retro vintage Broncos, retro vintage pickup trucks, retro vintage refrigerators. And it's funny because parts of the Northeast are outlawing wood stoves and wood burning, like, what do you call those things? They're like a little space heater, but you do it with wood. Why would they want you to be everything digital? So they can charge you, right? And some of y'all are going to be in the Badlands like, oh, I can't get internet. I can't get this. I can't get that. And again, pay attention to the writing on the wall, right? The farming aspect, the food aspect of things. Will you be able to have access to things? Will you even, like some of the stuff I'm talking about? Now, let me, because you're going to be like, Erica, you're just reaching. No, let me put it here. Let me show this part.
The whole world. He will want one energy system, which he controls. He wanted to launch a microchip for remote control of women's fertility in the third world, where there's a microchip, and whether I will have a baby or not will be decided by Mr. Gates or an institution he creates. So, he is the most amazing total control freak who could imagine. And his funny, lost grin tells me the guy is lost. He is lost. He doesn't know who he is, except that money controls the world. That's all he knows. And, we are being ruled by insanity. It's a very serious situation. Yeah. I don't need Bill Gates' style of money at all. Have you noticed how much good work is coming through crowdsourcing? We will either see ourselves as powerless, and we will constantly delegate power to governments that don't care, and people like Gates, who, while pretending to be a philanthropist, is only thinking how to make the next buck. He's actually, everything he's doing is making a new business opportunity. And we will constantly say, oh, we are too poor, we are too stupid, we are too powerless. The minute we reclaim power and say we have the power to make change, we have the power through community to mobilize resources. Bill Gates is attacking decentralized energy. He wants centralized systems. Like I said, he wants one agriculture for the whole world. He will want one energy system, which he controls. He wanted to launch a microchip.
Again, right now in Africa, they're already testing the digital ID in 2 countries. You can Google that. I'm not going to go too off the rails on that. You can go Google that for yourself. Go look it up. They're already testing it. They're like, hey, Kenya, we're going to give you all this money. They even had this thing where they're like, we're going to give y'all $1,000 if you line up and put your eyeball on this screen, right? And that, so like the whole thing scanned the person eyeballs. And so it's so funny because the Africans, it was like 5,000 of them lining up to get this $1,000. And in that part of Africa, it was life-changing. I think it was Uganda. I may be wrong. I thought it was Kenya or Uganda. And I was like, y'all lining up to scan your eyeballs? Like I even told you about Europe, how they had said after April, you're going to come, they're going to scan your eyeball and scan your 4 fingerprints. And I'm like, oh, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But again, these things get put in very calmly, very coolly, very slowly. And then you just look up and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. They pulling that Apple Pay out y'all accounts. Okay. So I'm going to end on a positive note as best I can. I know that was a little dark, but I just want y'all to hear that. Like, trust me, there are people with terrible plans out here, and y'all are in no position to fight financially. Y'all not in any mode to like, I'm gonna fight. You can't. If you don't have no money, you don't have no business, you can't give your children jobs. Yeah, I'm going there. Again, this is trigger warning. Right now that the black fathers are all up in NIL, they're like, we need to make some rules on this money now. Okay. Now that the Somalians are scamming harder than the Jewish people, we need some reform. We're going to deport them. Okay. They knew this stuff was going on. Okay. So let me end this on a positive note. We're going to hit the Canadians and then we're going to hit the last segment. The Canadians. Now, y'all love saying, Erica, people in Canada, they have free healthcare and they're so happy and I'll be like, oh, okay, if you say so. I don't know what Canada you're talking about. Not the same Canada everybody else.
Tomorrow morning, would you move to the state? Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
I just think Canada in a whole is just so soft nowadays. You get rewarded for not working hard at all. Liberals. Period. Liberals. Period.
Welcome to Canada, where house prices are twice as much and incomes are 30% lower, where our unemployment is 7%, where our economy is the worst in the G7, and it's not even close. But hey, at least healthcare is free, right? Although it really isn't. And if you have a serious emergency, you're probably gonna die in the emergency room. And where we just replaced our prime minister with an investment banker who hasn't even lived here for the past 10 years. And this is where it gets really bad. If you make $150,000 in Ontario, you're going to pay a 28% tax rate, whereas if you made the same $150,000 in Texas, it's only 18%. But hey, welcome to Canada, where you're freezing your ass off for 8 months a year. Everybody's miserable. I'm a Canadian going the other way. See, I had a business in Canada, renovating properties, buying properties. I bought and sold over 150 houses, made a lot of money. And now I'm restarting in the US because life is way better in the US. So if you want to follow a Canadian's journey on leaving Canada, living in the US, building a business in the US, follow me. I got so much more to share with you.
If you had green card tomorrow morning, would you move to the state? Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes. 100%.
This is there's about 15 channels like this that are growing super fast. But long story short, this is Laura Landed. Let me see if I can click that thing. Boom, 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 boom. Here you go. Is this the one? I hate this one. I want to just.
This is how I moved my family from Canada to the US without a job offer or $1 million. Hey, I'm Lauren. I'm Canadian and I moved to Florida through the E2 visa program after buying a small business. A few years ago, I was in Vancouver feeling stuck. Long winters, slow healthcare, and high taxes. So I started looking for options and I found out that Canadians can legally move to the US by buying a small business and actively running it. So that's what we did. We bought a small yacht repair company in West Palm Beach and moved down with our 2 dogs. We had no family here, no network, no friends, and we figured it out step by step. It was stressful and exciting at the same time, but it honestly completely changed our lives. Follow for more real info from someone who actually did it and check the link in my bio for free resources if you are curious about the E2 visa path. This is how I moved my family from Canada to the US without a job offer or $1 million. Hey, I'm Lauren. I'm Canadian.
Okay, so long story short, I can find about 15, 20 pages like this where they're just Canadians who are like, we're leaving, we're gone. And they're comparing the cost of groceries. They're telling you that it's not really free healthcare.
They say things like, well, healthcare is free. No, it's not.
No.
They just took half your paycheck.
Exactly.
And then when
now
you
you have to wait a year or 14 months for, an MRI or a surgery.
It's crazy. If they'll even give it to you.
Exactly.
And I just keep telling y'all, like, go ask people in Detroit, go ask people along every border city, every border hospital. Canadians drive across the border. Like a lady had a growth growing on her side of her face, and Canada was like, oh, you're going to have to wait till your time to get your appointment. She's like, I literally have an active growth on the side of my jaw growing. She literally drove herself across the border. The Canadian, the what do you call the people, the Mounties at the Canadians at the border were like, where are you going? She's like, I'm going to the emergency room in America. She's filming this whole thing. And they're just looking at her like, oh, let's check her car. They're digging in her car. They're being dramatic. They let her go across the border. She goes straight to the emergency room. She had a tumor in the side of her face, y'all. And y'all be sitting here, Canada has free healthcare. That's free healthcare. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, if you say so. Like, like you can go online every day and see these Canadians running across the border in emergencies to get real healthcare. But y'all keep telling me that story if you want to. But again, I remember in 2020, I was at a mastermind event in Florida. It's the picture. Y'all see me on the yacht. I'm in the red and black checkered shirt. There were 2 Canadians there. And I mean, they were like teary-eyed. One of them was gay. I'm gonna go there. I just is what it is. He was a gay man, but he was teary-eyed because he was like, they packed 2 big bags. They had closed up their apartment. They didn't tell any of their family. They closed their whole apartment, put everything in storage because it's COVID. And they had their dog. And the border agents were like, why are you traveling to America? They're like, oh, we're going to this conference. See our ticket to this mastermind. We're going. Me and my boyfriend, my partner, are going to this. You're taking your dog? Yeah, we're taking our dog. We couldn't find a sitter. And the Canadians were just asking them all these questions. They held them for like an hour because they didn't want to tell them they were leaving Canada and never coming back. They were literally teary-eyed thinking they weren't going to see their family. That's how dramatic COVID had these people, that they're on a yacht in Florida, Miami, on the water, and they're about to cry about how hard Canada was on them during COVID, and that they thought they were leaving Canada and never returning. Because at this point, y'all have forgotten, because y'all memories have gotten soft. Canada made you sit at a hospital for 2 weeks. Sit at a hospital for 2 weeks against your will till they were clear you didn't have any COVID and you could be released. Our friend in Austin, Texas, who had a baby, her mom was like, my daughter's having a baby. I have to be there. This is my last daughter, my youngest daughter. I have to be there for her because I just have to go. So the husband's like, you go, I'll stay because I have to be at work. And I can't have them hold me hostage for 2 weeks. Right. So she goes to Texas. She stays there. She's taking care of the baby. She calls and she's like, what happens if I come back today? They're like, well, you're going to be in a hospital for 2 weeks. She's like, I don't have COVID. It doesn't matter. You're going to be in a hospital for 2 weeks and we're going to charge you. And they're going to swipe your card when you get to Canada. You got a credit card, you got a bank account, they're swiping it. Y'all forgot how bad people acted during COVID. Y'all forgot how bad Canada was. And y'all keep playing it like you guys need to just forgive and get over it. Why you keep bringing up about COVID? I'm like, because y'all were so horrendous to people during COVID. I mean, y'all want people to forgive y'all? Are you kidding me? How terrible y'all were? How one side of my nose is messed up from where I had kept getting swabbed. I got swabbed over 100 times on like one side of my nose. I have to have nose surgery, y'all. I have to have nose surgery because of the swabbing scratched something in my nose. That's why I will never forgive how Canada and how y'all acted during COVID. I will always hold a banner up like, remember how y'all acted? See, we wouldn't have Trump back in here if y'all didn't act like y'all had some damn sense. But because y'all didn't act like y'all had some damn sense, that's why I put Trump back in here. That's the truth of it. That's why he's back, because the way y'all acted. Okay. Y'all don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. Okay. Let me finish this part right here. Cause y'all like, here she go on the rant about Trump. Boom. Let's go here.
I'm going through all of these documents and making sure.
Listen, I know that this playing this audio is going to get me a copyright strike. I don't care. End of the day, long story short, this young lady, she bought Airbnb. And again, you'll talk to people, oh my God, Airbnb. Again, she was making 6 figures in corporate America as a corporate engineering job. She bought a house, 20% down. And instead, she bought a duplex with 3.5% down. Lived in one side, rented out the other. I'm pretty sure this one was in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken, her story. And then she just made so much money. She's like, I'm going to travel the world for 2 years. Bought another property while she was traveling. Picked them up, renovated them, cleaned them up. Y'all know how y'all was acting in New Orleans during jazz festivals and Mardi Gras. Y'all was down there. But she's picked them in different cities. And you can go check out her story. But I just always want y'all to understand, like, this kind of, real estate's so bad. And if you buy any real estate, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna be crying tears. That's not true. But y'all can go look it up for yourself. So again, you're going to say, how can I live more? How can I do more? You're going to have assets that pay. Assets that pay you. That's just as simple as it is. And anybody telling you on this internet that's a black person telling you not to buy real estate, I'll be looking at them side. I'm like, are you a CIA agent? Are you a Fed? Because that don't sound logical. But you can watch some of her content, not to just try to
scale your real estate portfolio right now, is because you are seeing this as a hobby. You're not actually seeing, jets are on, the jets are on. But you're not actually seeing this as a business. you're not stepping into the identity of the person that scales. You're not truly listening to your desires and listening to who you need to be in order to become the woman, the person that scales their real estate portfolio. Maybe you're afraid of the responsibility, right? Maybe you also think that you have to scale in a way that's going to completely destroy your soul and essentially going to have to become someone who is a corporate machine just churning things out. Know that you can build your real estate portfolio in alignment. You can scale true to the desires of your soul.
Okay, now listen, y'all can go watch her if you want to. I'm gonna be honest. If you got 5 properties, you're rocking. Unless they're just all in the hood, terrible 5 properties. Like, if you got 5 decent ones, if you got like 1 luxury, 1 Airbnb, or, you know, a good A/B quality, you're good. Like I keep telling y'all, we have a duplex that produces 1,700 a month. We have another duplex that produces 1,200 a month. If I was a person who's like, that's enough for me, you could sit down with 3 or 4 duplexes. But again, this is another conversation we'll have. If you're in the land grab course, that's part of why I'm teaching it. Like, there's cheaper land to be got pretty much everywhere. But let me see if I have my last clip for y'all to get on out of here. Oh, yeah, this one. And the last one's on careful who your friends are. Okay. So if you didn't have rich parents, make sure you become a rich parent. Build free quote sites with AI. See, again, they got that digital real estate handle. I know I should have bought that. But anyway, spend $300 a month on ads to get leads. Sell to businesses for $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Repeat with more websites. Now you're gonna say, Erica, $300? I gotta spend $300 with Google ads. I can't do it. And that's okay, because you're going to spend $300 going out. You're going to spend $300 going to the football game. You're going to spend $300 drinking with your friends. You're going to spend $300 in the summer on cookouts. You're going to spend $300 doing all kind of stuff. I am telling you, when people's hot water heaters go out, they plumbing go out, they AC go out, they go on the computer or on their cell phone and type the first thing they can find. And is your business up there? 9 times 10 quote sites are up there that people are running ads to. Plug and play. Again, market research, trends, google.com, maps, Google, this, AI tools. They're telling you to play. They're telling you to play. Somebody's still gonna go, I don't know, Erica. And I've been telling you this for years. Like, literally Google local service ads. Whoever's on the first page, first couple businesses they get the call, you can come to their house and they'll pay you. And you don't have to overthink this. But again, pick a niche in home services. Why home services? High ticket jobs, 3K to 10K. Boomers, owners hate marketing. Yes, they do. That's why they rather sell their business to a stranger online than learn marketing, than learn and pay for ads. Like, this guy quoted me $3K a month for, they're going to film you. They're going to run your social media. They're going to run ads. They're going to do everything for $3K, like a crazy package for $3K. And I remember telling somebody who was older, they were like, oh, I wouldn't pay that. I just pay $3K for it. I just wouldn't even pay that. I'm like, and that's why you're trying to sell your HVAC company right now, because you won't run ads and then complain when times are low. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is common. Look for top rating companies. Is their site not secure? Does it have poor SEO or slow mobile performance? Do they have a weak presence on Google? Right? High demand, poor sites, or no strong ads equals opportunity. Build a simple landing page. Drive leads with Google ads. While leads are coming in, you can start building a more robust site. Home, about, contact page, dedicated service page, fence repair, residential, SEO basics. There's a lot I could go over in this, but this is literally, you're just trying to capture leads. Budget, service needed, and time frame. And partner with a contractor, right? Again, how do you pitch them? Hey man, I got 30 to 50 ready to buy leads coming in every month. You know, are you interested? Make it risk free. You only pay me after the job is completed. You get paid. I'll send you the leads up front. Now, be careful with the contractor you pick, you tell that deal to. But in general, don't overthink this. Don't make this so complicated. That's all that people are doing out here. And again, I think he has 96 pages right now. If I'm not mistaken, I think him and his cousin or whatever have like 96 pages. But they're also buying pages. They're also buying other people's Instagram pages. They own Income Parent page. So I don't know if you noticed that they bought a couple pages on social media, because after a while, after you start spending thousands of dollars a month to promote your business on other people's Instagram pages, you just start asking to buy other people's pages. Hope that didn't go over your head. But anyway, this is I got everything. I think I got it all. Oh, this is the last one. Let me make sure I play this one, because I find this to be careful when you watch people. When you tell people some good news, they act like this. Pay attention.
Mine came to my house for the first time. And this was when I lived in my first house that I had built from the ground up at 21 years old. I got it by myself, no cosigner. And this was especially significant because I had just come out of a season of great financial hardship because I had lived on my own and survived since I was 16. I was fortunate to be alive. So buying a house was an absolute dream come true. The friend was in my area and asked if he could stop by to see my new house. I said, sure. So he comes over and he's got this look on his face as he comes to the door. And I'm thinking, what's his problem? Anyways, he asked if he could have a tour, so I started showing him around the house. The last room we go into is the primary suite. Now, disclaimer, this was years ago, so we used to use the term master bedroom and bathroom. Now, he's been quiet and visibly uncomfortable the whole tour. He sees the bathroom, turns to me and says, is this the master bathroom? I said, yes. He said, oh, it doesn't look very mastery to me. Now, I could have said, well, where's your master bathroom? Where is your home? When will you move out of your mother's apartment? But see, I didn't do that because I decided a long time ago that I would stop matching insulting energy. Instead, we were just not friends after that. And someone may hear this and say, it was just a joke. It was something small. You're overreacting. And that's okay if you feel that way, because maybe he's available to be your friend and come to your house and insult you. But what I've learned that has saved me a lot of time, effort, and energy is that there are certain things that people do and say where you don't need any more information. Certain red flags require no further investigation. Just because it's called a microaggression doesn't mean it has small impact. Be careful of people who consistently feel the need to try to sun you, especially when they seem to target things that are important to you. Hear me, they are not your friend. Set a boundary in the relationship. You have some options here. But one thing that you must not ever do under any circumstance is allow a person to insult you and activate the let me prove I'm good enough part of you. No, if they lean back from you, trying to get you to lean in, child, let them lean all the way back and fall. Maybe they'll find somebody else's space to play in on the way down. One time, this person who was supposed to be a friend of mine came to my house for the first time. And
do you know how many people do this daily? Play in your face. You only here because I put you here. You only here because I made you, because you copied me, because you piggybacked me. Honey, people live for this. They live for you to audition for them. Do not audition for them. Only validate yourself. Listen. I know people gonna make Erica, don't be like the Gen Z and no, listen. Write down all the things you've ever accomplished on a piece of paper. And you'll look back and be like, damn, I'm her. I done did too much. I done built too much. You can't ever sun me. You can't ever talk down to me. I live in the real world. I go out of my house. I actually interact with people. I've took people overseas to Panama. 30 plus people traveled to me over to Panama. Just flew there, met me there. Okay. I want you to understand. Don't ever let people try to put you in a little box. Well, how's your little channel doing, Erica? How is still paying me 6 figures a year, sir? Still pay me 6 figures a year. Oh, that's good for you. Oh, you over there building houses now? Well, a lot of people build houses, Erica. That ain't nothing special. Oh, they building apartment complexes? Well, that's different, but okay, don't let people pull that shit in your face. Family or not, friends or not, enemies or not. Y'all, with this life is too short for people to be playing in your face. Do you know how many people I had a something happen? It was like a lawsuit. I lost it. I just paid it and kept on moving. And I said, I should just live a regular life or something. That like I was having a tantrum. My friend's like, yeah, you should. And that day was the last day we were friends. That day was the last day. I said, bitch, you just saw me make $1 million. And I had one lawsuit and I had a temper tantrum. No, that's not your response as a friend. Your response as a friend is, man, Erica, you know what? That's just one thing. Girl, get on up. Get on up, girl. Get on, pat yourself on the back. Keep it pushing. It happens. Pay attention to what people say around you. Some of y'all spouses are the biggest haters in y'all life. Some of y'all mamas and daddies is the biggest haters in y'all life. Some of y'all family is the biggest haters in your life. I remember somebody saying, why it's got to change? Because she here now. And my manager was like, because she a different person, right? Like my manager had to step in and be like, no. Don't ever open your mouth to say something stupid like that. Every time we have a new person come to this office, things are going to change. And y'all not prepared to be confident enough. Anytime y'all come in my chats with the Erica, what do you think about imposter syndrome? I'm like, you're not doing enough. You're not writing down what you're doing, and you're not doing enough. If somebody can make you feel like you don't supposed to be in this place, that's crazy. That's crazy, y'all. Do you know how hard some of y'all work to study, get certifications, and walk up to your job? And y'all like, I just don't know if I'm qualified. Do you think Donald Trump thought that he wasn't qualified to be the president of the United States? Do you think a lot of these people that's out here think they're not qualified? No, they think they're qualified, right? So you got to be real careful who speaks life into you, who talks bad about you. You know what I mean? I have fan friends like, well, you should be in the kitchen somewhere cooking. Baby, do I look like your cooking ass daughter? No. I'm the daughter that makes millions of dollars and changed the trajectory of the whole family. That's who I am. Let's try that again. Would you like to ask me a different question? Right? And you got to check people. You know, my mom always said, everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. Listen, if I be talking life into Asia, I'd be like, Asia, you're an award-winning contractor, girl. You run the city of Detroit. You better not let them people say nothing to you. Asia get invited every 2 days of the week on Thursday and Friday somewhere to be speaking somewhere, being somewhere. Y'all have to understand, you have to acknowledge how great you are. And sometimes y'all sit in some of these rooms with people and they trying to sun you. Baby, please. I don't live to be online. I'm living out here in the real world. And you have to really acknowledge that. And I'm just so grateful for parents that were just speaking life. Speaking life. Girl, you can do it. So what that school say you got ADHD? You can do it. So what they say you hyper? You can do it. So what you didn't pass that class? So what you can do it? Right? I'm playing tennis. I'm running track. I'm the last person coming in on cross country. So what? You finished the race. You know, you beating people at tennis. They don't want you there. You're black. Girl, so what? You did it. Right? I'm playing soccer. I'm out there. Girl, you out there. Y'all have to be around people that speak life into you. Y'all cannot be around people that speak that. And I always apologize because I realized people didn't have the same parents I had. And some people had a horrible life. And I apologize. I'm sorry that was your life. But you going to have to speak life into you. You going to have to step it up. If nobody else do, you going to have to do it. Okay? That's right. Favor ain't fair. Y'all know what time it is. My relatives are my biggest haters. Man, listen, come on. Listen, I remember showing somebody photos of me and my man traveling all these places. They said, damn, y'all really be going places. Y'all really be living. And you would have thought they was some Hebrew slave. They was talking like, y'all really be out here living. Living y'all best life. I was like, yeah. And this person got more money than us, lived better than us, wealthier than us, and could do the same. But they don't believe in themselves. I'm not here to preach to y'all. Y'all know I'm not. I'm just saying, as this January come up, y'all gonna be like, damn, where it could go. I'm just telling you, you better believe in yourself. Because they got some dum-dums out here building whole apartment buildings. They got some dum-dums out here building whole shopping centers. And you out here arguing and tussling with people online about 50-50 and women's. I ain't got time for it. When I walked up in there, they said, yeah, you qualify for this. What? I qualify for a whole building. Baby, let me get to work. I ain't got time to talk what y'all talking about. Y'all have a great day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time. And y'all may be thinking, man, she ain't got to act like that. Now, we got a whole 2 people we hired over there. They're going to do different stuff online. But overall, keep it moving, okay? So I'm going to just read these last comments. I'm going to get on out of here. Y'all been great today. But yeah, San Antonio's Clutch, don't let them hate on you. Keep living your best life. You come in and visit when your mama and them is alive. That's why people be like, where the family reunions? Well, your family stop being messy and people come. When people think they're overqualified, they're doing you a favor by working for you. Come on, listen. Do you know how many people I know hire people that's more qualified than them? The procurement person I had paid money for them. I paid $3,000 for that procurement person to become trained by Eric Coffey and a couple other people. And they were acting like they doing me a favor still working for me. Baby, I trained you. You better get your mind together and get on up out of his office. Yeah, you're fired. Leave your laptop. Like, keep it pushing. And you have to understand, people will be confused. You help people up. Sometimes they try to step on your shoulder and then fall down and be like, Eric, come back and help me. Nah, baby. That was one time. You don't get a second time. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Don't you worry. Some of y'all done walked right out the door and you don't even realize it. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Let me see this last comments. You find out who your real friends are. Oh, honey, do you know how many people I shook off when I was making money? Even when I came back from college, y'all, and my grandmother, my father died, and I opened a coffee shop. And this group of people I was hanging out with, some guy was like, "Oh, she can't possibly be doing that. You know, she there's no way she has a coffee shop. Her family must be bankrolling her." And I was like, "Dude, my father died. My grandma died. I'm using my inheritance money." And they had no heart. They were just like, "Oh, I don't believe that." And I was like, "That's the last time I'll ever hang around you." Y'all be reading them signs in them countries. Let me see. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. You have to encourage yourself almost every day. I mean, y'all encourage yourself to wash your body and put on deodorant, don't you? You encourage yourself to brush your teeth. That's the same level of encouragement every day. Every day you encourage yourself to get in that shower and wash that body, right? Hopefully, God bless some of y'all are. That's how much encouraging you need to do for yourself. I thought I was speaking life to my homie of 20 years, but I guess it was taken out of context as if I was trying to sun him when I truly wasn't, just was motivating. Yeah, you got to realize people don't love themselves. So be careful, right? Because you know, there's some people I was talking to every day, like, hey, you can do it. Da, da, da. And they'd be like, Erica, you know, just listen. I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen. And I remember talking to that guy being like, you the one depressed. I'm trying to help you. Baby, good luck. Enjoy COVID by yourself, okay? Believe in yourself every day, always. For sure. After taking Dave's stock course, now my 96K is printing asset money. Congratulations, man. Each one teach one. Listen, hey, y'all, somebody take a screenshot of this. Hold on, make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger. Y'all take a screenshot for David Williams and send this to me at Admin Concept. I'm gonna smile. Okay, did y'all get a screenshot of that? Get a screenshot of that so we can send it to David Williams so he can use it for his testimonials. Okay, there we go. So listen, you guys, it's been good. It's been gravy. Again, after January 15th, the 30 minutes will no longer be available on Calendly link. Definitely be in the land grab course. We're going to have 2 live trainings again in January. Life is good. I've been slow cooking collard greens for about an hour and 30 minutes now. They probably have melted to nothing. Not really. My family member went there and turned it off. But I got to finish cooking dinner. And you guys have a great day. God bless you. Happy holidays. Peace be upon you, brothers and sisters. All the Hotep sayings. Hotep. January, the money printer go burr. Holla back, holla forward, whatever the slang is. Y'all know what time it is. What is it? What does Detroit say? What up, though? All that good stuff. Have a blessed day.
Whether you're launching a business or leveling up your personal finances, Williams Accounting and Tax Services has you covered. From book cleanup and tax prep to strategic advisory, business setup, and our empowering tax academy, we're a full-service accounting firm. I'm Brandy Williams, an IRS enrolled agent with over 20 years experience. Visit us at williamsacttax.com. We look forward to working with you.